What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Buster here at Buster Plays, and that's right, we did it. We broke 100 subscribers. That was our goal, I believe. As we sit, we're at 110. So go ahead and hit that like button on the video. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here, and let's get into it. Per request of Joe Burke, today we will be rebuilding the Cleveland Browns with Kevin Stefanski at the helm. This team needs a lot of work, so let's just go ahead, dive right in, and see what we can do. Well, we're starting here in week 9 at the trade deadline, and I tell you what's going to happen. I believe we're going to have to get rid of Nick Chubb. Because of the cap hell that this team is in with Deshaun Watson, we really can't re-sign anybody. Nick Chubb's also a 28-year-old Madden running back, which all of us that know how Madden works know that it's just not good, especially with where this team is, where we're hoping to be winning in year 3 and year 4 and year 5. Nick Chubb won't be a 95 overall then. So let's try to see if we can get anything for him now. All right, this is the trade we're going to take. It's not the best deal offered to us, but it is probably the most realistic. Kalijah Kancey, a right end, a younger guy that is going to be cheap. A second and 2/3, bring some draft capital in so we can put some pieces in the building. Zadarius Smith is another player we're going to move. I believe he's looked at going to Detroit now, as is. He may have gone this morning. Yeah, he was sent to the Lions for a 7th and a 5th and 6th round swap. And, I don't really like the idea of that. That's a terrible trade. Look, the Lions don't even want him here. We're gonna work something up with Detroit. Yeah, there we go. We get a 5th from Detroit. It's not the same, but, in Madden terms, it'll do. Now, everybody else we're probably going to leave alone, and we're just going to let them walk. Jedrick Wills would be the one person that I'd be looking at potentially trying to re-sign. But nobody else wants to be in the building. We're not going to force anybody to be here. We need to draft really well. So let's get to the end of our first or half first year here. Go over the season stats, take a look at the team, and get into the free agency and draft. And now that we're at the end of year 1, we can take a look at the team and see that Jameis Winston, almost 2,000 yards, 13 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, a little high. We know we need a quarterback. Jerome Ford, 719 yards, 4 touchdowns. Nobody breaking the 700-yard mark receiving. And Njoku at 609 and 6 touchdowns. Tillman at 560 and 4. And he looks like he's going to be an electric young player currently. A lot of sacks given up. Well, actually, not terrible, but more than you want. And defensively, JOK leading the team in tackles. Myles Garrett in TFLs with JOK right behind him. And Myles Garrett with sacks with 7.5. Not the numbers you'd hope for out of him. And not a lot of interceptions from this team, especially with as good of defensive backs as this team has. Now, we did end up going 5-12. So we did win some games, but we're still looking at a top pick, which is what we really want. Let's get through this playoffs. Let's see who the Super Bowl champion is and get into the offseason. And before we look at these yearly awards, and I get too far into the video and people aren't watching anymore, if there's a team you want to see rebuilt, go ahead, let me know down in the comments. I will be sure to get it done. Bear with me, though. It may take a little bit of time. I have a Steelers rebuild to do soon. I've gotten some college teams requested. I'm trying to figure out how to frame a college rebuild. The college football rebuilding programs is a little bit different than Madden, a little bit lengthier, so bear with me as I try to figure that out. Now, on to the yearly awards. Lamar Jackson, MVP, as that's what it's kind of looking like in real life. Coach of the Year going to Matt LaFleur, we could only hope. Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, top of the way for the Offensive Player of the Year. That checks out. We have nobody on the list. Defensive Player of the Year, JOK at 7. Offensive Rookie of the Year, we have nobody on the list. Defensive Rookie of the Year, nobody on the list. Best quarterback, we're not going to have anybody there. Best running back, we're not going to have anybody there. Best wide receiver, not on the list. Best offensive lineman, maybe? Nope. Nice try. Best defensive lineman, nobody on the list. And best linebacker, JOK at 6. Best defensive back, not looking good for us. Best kicker, still not on any lists. Kind of upsetting, although we did go 5-12. Now we have a Green Bay and Buffalo Super Bowl. Let's see who wins. And the Super Bowl champion are the Green Bay Packers. Jair Alexander winning Super Bowl MVP. Now we do have a little bit of money to re-sign some people, but I don't think we're going to use it. 9.6 million in cap. We'll probably try to take that to the free agency. See if we can maybe just get somebody. I've thought about trying to re-sign Jedrick Wills, but he doesn't want to be here, so we'd have to pay him way too much. All right, the only person we can target is Jedrick Wills. Let's just hope we get him. Yeah, didn't think so. Now that a round is passed, though, I'm hoping maybe there are some players that are willing to take some less. All right, and we do sign Brady Christensen. Not a great left tackle, but a left tackle for us. All right, now we're here at the draft. We have pick 4. Let's see who's available to us. Will Campbell went number 1 overall. There's only one right person to draft here. That's Luther Burden. We need help at receiver. We need a lot of other positions, but this guy's going to be a superstar X factor. And when you have the opportunity to bring somebody like that into the building, you do it. Welcome to the Cleveland Browns, Luther Burden. Ranked at 5, got him at 4, hidden dev. Again, he's going to be a superstar X factor. All right, in the second round, we're going after Anthony Belton. He's a left tackle. We need one. End of story. How good is he? Ranked at 55, got him at 36, and only a normal dev. And with our second round pick, we are going to go after Malachi Moore. Just another defensive back to throw into the secondary to help out this defense. Ranked at 29, got him at 55, and a hidden dev. Welcome to the Browns. And we do have 3 third-round picks. So with the first one, we're taking Jay Higgins, a field general, middle linebacker. Try to get these linebackers straightened out fast. A normal dev, but will probably play. We're sticking with linebacker here in our second third-round pick. Going with Josiah Stewart. Gonna move him over to the left outside spot. And hopefully he is not great. All right, we're going with the left guard here. Somebody to move to center. Joshua Gray is our type of offensive lineman. Let's bring him in. Oh, we're reaching for these people, huh? And after year 1, we do have the draft recap where we had a lot of draft picks and not too many terrible ones. Starting off with Luther Burden, a 78 overall. We know he's going to be good. Anthony Belton, a 73 overall. Malachi Moore, a 75 overall. Jay Higgins, a 70. Then a lot of 60s. Hopefully, maybe some dev traits down the board. Riley Leonard from Notre Dame we drafted. Hopefully some dev traits down the board from the computer part. I kind of quit after Jack Kaiser. Really just wasn't getting anywhere drafting players. But I'm going to get these guys put into the lineup. We'll see you week 1 of year 2. And we're at the beginning of year 2. This is what the team's looking like. Of course, we're going to start Riley Leonard over Deshaun Watson just because, for personal reasons, I guess you could say. Jerry Jeudy, a wide receiver 1. Luther Burden looking to take that over soon. Still got David Njoku. The rookie left tackle is going to make a start over Christensen. Only one overall worse, but I think he will develop to be better very soon. Defensively, we got our rookie linebackers in. Of course, JOK, Delpit. I want Malachi Moore starting over Juwan Thornhill just because of the age and development really could be better. Now, Myles Garrett and Kalijah Cansey really could use some help at the defensive tackle spot. Maybe something to look at in this upcoming draft. Now, with $58 million in cap room, it is time to start re-signing and maybe even moving on from players. Greg Newsome is somebody we do want to keep around, though. We want to build off that defense, keep it strong. Same with Martin Emerson Jr. These younger defensive backs need to stay. Now, we do have Wyatt Teller here, who is 30, but could definitely stay for a little bit longer. Jerome Ford has the potential. We'll see how he's doing by the end of the year. And I really think everybody else we can probably let walk as, other than Corey. Well, we'll probably go after a new punter. The only one I am still considering is David Njoku. He is 30 though, but a 91 overall superstar dev could really be beneficial for when we get our new young quarterback. And we definitely are going to get a new young quarterback as we are 0-7 currently. I'm curious to how Riley Leonard's playing. It doesn't look great. Yeah. 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. Jerome Ford with 310 yards, 0 rushing touchdowns. Jerry Jeudy with 325 yards and 1 touchdown. Luther Burden with 325 and 2 touchdowns. Cedric Tillman getting 3 touchdowns. Let's see who's given up the most sacks, and it's our rookie, Anthony Belton. Defensively, Martin Emerson Jr. leading the team in tackles. Dalvin Tomlinson in tackles for loss. And Mike Hall Jr. in sacks. Myles Garrett falling off with 2.5 through the first half of year 2. And only 4 interceptions, 2 for Cameron Mitchell, 1 for Jordan Hicks, and 1 for Denzel Ward. Now, we don't know Luther Burden's dev trait just yet. Belton is playing down, which is kind of a bummer. I think Conklin's going to get benched for DeJuan Jones as well. Riley Leonard, again, not playing great, but we're going to keep riding it out. We don't care if we win games here in year 2. Going after a nice rookie quarterback in the future. It keeps benching Malachi Moore, even though he is better than Juwan Thornhill now. Greg Newsome seems to be hurt, but other than that, our defense is still a decent defense. About 2 positions we could really, really improve at to make it, a dominant defense. Our real struggles are on offense. If you can't move the ball, your defense is going to be worn out and exhausted. So let's get to the end of the year and try to build a little bit more. And to finish the year, we don't end up going winless. We do squeak in 1 win. I know the stats weren't great, but we're going to check them out anyway. I just saw Najee broke 1,000 yards. Riley Leonard, looks like he did a little bit better in the second half of the year. 3,400 yards, 22 touchdowns, 38 interceptions is still a lot. Rushing, Jerome Ford, 747 and 3 touchdowns. Receiving, Luther Burden, 894 and 6 touchdowns, 856 and 3 for Jerry Jeudy. Belton didn't give up any more sacks, which is cool. Defensively, JOK leading the way in tackles. Dalvin Tomlinson with 20 TFLs. And Myles Garrett leading the way with 7.5 sacks. Mike Hall Jr. with 6. Not a terrible year from the second-year player. 3 interceptions for Delpit, 2 for Denzel Ward, 2 for Cameron Mitchell, and 1 for a couple others. It looks like Juwan Thornhill still got the start over Malachi Moore. Let's see if we know any of our rookie dev traits, and Luther Burden was only a star dev player. I would have thought he would have been Superstar X Factor. I guess I thought wrong. It moved my offensive line all around. That's awesome. Defensively, Malachi Moore, only a star as well. Nothing for anybody else. Those were our only two hidden devs. Hopefully they keep their dev traits with how bad we were. Let's get to the official end of the year. All right, we're not going to have anybody in, I feel like, any of these award winner roles at all. There's no way. Well, we do get Offensive Rookie of the Year for Luther Burden, so that is cool. Defensive Rookie of the Year, we don't have anybody on the list. Not going to be for Best Quarterback, not for Best Running Back. I doubt for Best Wide Receiver. Best Offensive Lineman, not on there either. Best Defensive Lineman, Myles Garrett is at 7. Best linebacker, we don't have anybody on the list. Best defensive back, still nobody on the list. And you probably guessed it, best kicker, nobody on the list. The Ravens and the San Francisco 49ers are playing in the Super Bowl. Let's see who wins. And the Baltimore Ravens win the Super Bowl, sadly. So Luther Burden does go up to Superstar Dev. We have nothing else up or down on the offense. Defensively, Mike Hall Jr. gets a dev trait, so that is good for our defensive tackle, and nobody else goes up or down. All right, as much as I want to keep David Njoku, who's starting to regress, and I'm just not paying and getting rid of every bit of cap room we have for him, especially since he doesn't want to be here. So let's get to the free agency and see if we can bring in anybody. All right, well, we just released Deshaun Watson, which actually gave us some more money to try to make some things work on this team. And I'm going to take a look at this free agency and see who we can bring in. All right, and in the free agency, the only two people we're targeting are Tyler Algier and DJ Reader, and I don't have a good feeling about either one of them. And yeah, we don't get either. All right, now we're trying for Rachaad White. Let's see if we get him. It's not looking good. Are the Bengals going to steal him from us? They don't. We do get to bring in Rachaad White. A temporary fix. Maybe we look to draft somebody soon. And now let's get to the draft and get us a quarterback. All right, we are here at pick 1 of 1 in the NFL draft. And this is obviously our guy, Timmy Brewer. We need a quarterback. Welcome to the Cleveland Browns. Let's see if we can finally get a franchise guy in the building. Ranked at 39, got him at 1, but he is a hidden dev with 97 throw power. All right, we need a replacement tight end. So here in round 2, we're going after Kevin West. Ranked at 36, got him at 33. Only normal dev though. Now we're going after a new left outside linebacker. I know it says right, but we're going to move him to left outside, around 1 to 2 talent. Welcome to the team. Ranked at 41, got him at 65. He is normal dev, though. And Johnny Altman is about the only draftable offensive line left. So let's hope he's hidden dev. Oh, ranked at 18, got him at 91 and a hidden dev. That's the steal of the draft. All right, this is the draft recap before we get into year 3, and holy moly did we bring in some talent, starting with Timmy Brewer, the hidden dev quarterback, Kevin West, the new starting tight end, Tyrone Porter, that we want to move to left outside linebacker, left guard Johnny Altman, punter, 71 overall, a 74 overall 5th round corner in Enrique Meadows. And then some backup players that probably don't matter a whole lot. So let's get these guys plugged in. We'll see you at the beginning of year 3. And we're at the beginning of year 3, taking a look at the team and how everything's going to pan out. Of course, we have the rookie Brewer at quarterback, Rachaad White, who we brought in this year, Luther Burden, Jerry Jeudy, Kevin West, the rookie tight end. Offensive line could use some more work, but we have 2 young, promising guys on the left side. Wyatt Teller, who should be around for another couple years to hold down the right guard spot. I've really tried to start DeJuan Jones several times. It just benches him, so I'm going to leave it alone. We do need a center, though. Defensively speaking, we got all the right guys in the right spots, I think. Our linebacker core is starting to develop nicely. Higgins could grow. He just needs one of those big monster tackle years. Porter, the rookie, at the left outside spot. Need a second defensive tackle, but Kalijah Cansey is kind of developing fairly decently. Of course, we brought in Malachi Moore in last year's draft. The cornerback room is locked down. Very exciting year to come out of this defense. And at the midseason, we got some money, but we got some re-signing. Myles Garrett, of course, you're going to stay around. Keep him here. We need to win Super Bowls. I'd like to keep Grant Delpit as well. He's a really good, strong safety. And we got $100 million. And I don't think... I mean, DeJuan Jones I'd keep. He's a good, at least, backup, and he's cheap enough. Yeah. So we still have $100 million, and we don't have to re-sign anybody else. Really, we can take $100 million to the free agency. But in more exciting news, we are currently 4-2 at the midseason, which means we're winning games. We just destroyed the New York Giants 31-15. Let's see if we know our dev traits yet. We do not know Brewers, but he is up to a 78. Altman is a star dev. Rashad White seems to be hurt, which is not good for us. Belton developing nicely. Kevin West is developing fairly nicely. Luther Burden apparently not developing. Defensively, why did it do that? There we go. I don't know why it moved that around. You obviously want Myles Garrett on the field. And even though we don't know Timmy Brewer's development trait yet, he's playing like a superstar. 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, and a 107 rating. Not getting a lot from the rushing side of the ball. Katron Allen seems to be kind of leading the way with 4 touchdowns. Jerry Jeudy leading the team in passing with 438 and 2 touchdowns. Luther Burden, 299 and 2, needs to get going. Kevin West, the rookie, with 264 and 3 touchdowns. Leading the team in... What is that? Run after catch. I wanted to say yak. That's what I thought it was. Leading the team in yak. Not a lot of sacks, actually. I'm very surprised, and I will take it. Defensively, Jay Higgins is leading the team in tackles. That's what we need. We want him to develop. That's what he's got to do to develop. Mike Hall Jr. in TFLs and Myles Garrett in sacks with 3.5. I wish our sack numbers were a little bit higher, but we still got plenty of the season left. Interceptions, Higgins with 2, Ward with 2, and 1 for JOK, Newsome, and Delpit. Well, on a disappointing note, we end up finishing the year 7-10. Let's check out our dev traits. Brewer is only star dev, but the rest of the team is looking... Kevin West up to an 81 overall, along with Timmy Brewer. Defensively, we didn't have any defensive dev traits, but Mike Hall Jr. is developing nicely. Now, let's see if we got a shot at making a Rookie of the Year with our quarterback and getting another dev trait. It looks promising. Well, it actually kind of looks like he fell off a little bit. 3,700 yards, 27 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Rashad White coming back, 577 yards and 3 touchdowns. Receiving Jerry Jeudy, 1,200 yards, 5 touchdowns. Luther Burden the third, taking a little bit of a step back. Kevin Westo, 719 and 8 touchdowns. Maybe a Rookie of the Year from him. Conklin letting get a lot of sacks. Jay Higgins leading the team in tackles with 109. Mike Hall Jr. in TFLs. And Myles Garrett, finally for the first time in this rebuild, breaking that double-digit sack number with 11.5, 5.5 from Cansey, and 4.5 from Mike Hall Jr. 4 picks for Denzel Ward, 2 for JOK, 2 for Higgins, 2 for Meadows, the rookie, 2 for Delpit, 1 for Porter, and 1 for Greg Newsome. And to end the year, the MVP running, we are not in. Coach of the Year, we're also not in. I kind of figured those two. Offensive Player of the Year, we got nobody on the list. Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett is at 6. Offensive Rookie of the Year going to Alex Drake. Brewer and West were at 2 and 3. That is heartbreaking. I really thought we had it kind of set up. Who is Alex Drake? We're going to have to look. Defensive Rookie of the Year, we are not on the list. Best quarterback, not on the list. Best running back, not going to be on the list. Best receiver, Jerry Jeudy should have. He didn't make the list, but he should have. Best offensive lineman, we're not. Wyatt Teller actually at 5. Best defensive lineman, Myles Garrett is at 5. Best linebacker, probably not going to be on the list. Best defensive back, Denzel Ward is at 4. And best kicker, we are not on the list. We got a Green Bay Cincinnati Super Bowl. Let's, I guess, hope Green Bay wins. We don't want to see a division rival win the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl winner is the Green Bay Packers. Another defensive player for Green Bay getting the Super Bowl MVP. Let's take a look at our end of the year dev traits before we get into year 4. And Kevin West did go up in dev, going up to star development. Nobody else on the offense up or down. Defensively, JOK going to superstar and Higgins getting a dev trait and getting up to star dev. That's exactly what we wanted from our middle linebacker. I think our defense is really good. We're going to look to add another defensive tackle this year. Other than that, we have got to rebuild this offensive line and get a probably another receiver in the building and probably a running back, really. All right, and in the free agency, this is who we're targeting. Aiden Hutchinson, because we just have a pile of money, so why not? Brandon Aubrey, Ryan Kelly, and Rondale Moore. Let's see who we get. Well, we get Brandon Aubrey, Ryan Kelly, and Rondale Moore, so those are 3 big signings. I'm curious, Aiden Hutchinson went to Tennessee. That is such a bummer. We didn't need him, but, it would have been cool. Rashawn Gary has not developed at all. Madden really got to him. I'm just now seeing this. A 78 overall normal dev. That's about how he's been playing. And since our big dreams in the free agency fell through, and so did our season, we have the 10th pick in the NFL draft. Let's get to it, and let's see who we can bring in. All right, well, we need another receiver. So Deion Hoskins, he is a round 1 talent. I know his letter grades don't look great, but we're trusting the true talent here at 10. Let's bring him in. Ranked at 10, got him at 10. He is only normal dev, though. We also need a running back, and what better running back to bring in than JoJo Barner. Welcome to the team. Ranked at 13, got him at 42, and he is hidden dev. Now, this is where stuff gets tricky. We're going to go ahead and trade up to pick 47, I believe. Because, you know what? Actually, we're going to make it pick 43. Because why not? All right, we're trading a second next year and our third this year to go to pick 43. And we know exactly who we're going to take. Top defensive tackle on the board, Devon Winters. Welcome to the team. Ranked at 26, got him at 43, and a hidden dev. Another key piece to this team. And as good as I thought our draft was, it seems as if it was even better. Deion Hoskins, a 76 overall. JoJo Barner, a 76 overall. And Devon Winters, a 75 overall. The rest of the draft doesn't matter as much to me. These 3 players are going to have big impacts on the team this year. And before we get into year 4, this is what the team's looking like. Of course, we have Timmy Brewer, the second-year quarterback. The offensive line is developing and looking pretty decent. Kevin West, the second-year tight end. Of course, we have Rashad White, the rookie, JoJo Barner. Jerry Jeudy, Luther Burden, and Rondale Moore, along with rookie Deion Hoskins, trying to give that receiver room just some more juice. Defensively, we added Devon Winters. It seems as if Higgins is injured, which is not great for us. Porter at the left outside, JOK at the right, Malachi Moore, Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome, Grant Delpit, Mike Hall Jr., and Kalijah Cansey. This defense is looking fantastic. And while we are at the midseason, we do have some re-signings to do, but we do also have a bunch of money. So let's start with JOK, who we want to be here for the remainder of the rebuild. Mike Hall Jr., another player that we would like to see stay. We'll have to keep working with him. Jerry Jeudy, maybe? Maybe? He's staying. Kalijah Cansey, another player. We're going to keep our guys around. Denzel Ward, he's got to stay. We'll give him a 2-year deal. I know he's 30, but we want him to see the rest of the rebuild out. Zach Zenner, it's always good to keep extra offensive linemen around. So we will do that. And we will work with these two guys, bring them back. They're young, they're developing, they'll be really good players for us. Now at the midseason, it's not a great year for us so far as we are 2-5. I don't know if we need to change the playbooks. It's kind of what it looks like, as Timmy Brewer's 1,400 yards, 12 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Rachaad White with 467 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns so far. Jerry Jeudy with 402 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns. Luther Burden not really getting the, yards. He's getting touches. He's just not getting the yards. Rondale Moore, 313 and 3. Little bit of regression out of Kevin West's numbers, but when you add the weapons that we've added, it makes sense. DeJuan Jones letting up a lot of sacks. JOK leading the team in tackles. Myles Garrett in TFLs. And Myles Garrett in sacks. I think that's the highest sacks he's had at the midseason so far. So hopefully it stays that way. 2 interceptions from Denzel Ward and only 1 from a few others. Somehow at the end of year 4, we end up 6-11. How we did worse than we did the year before, I am unsure of. Timmy Brewer, 3,300 yards, 23 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Rachaad White breaking that 1,000-yard mark and 7 touchdowns. Jerry Jeudy, 950 and 7. Luther Burden, 918 and 4. Rondale Moore, 660 and 4. Kevin West, 427 and 3. We got to get a right tackle, I think. Defensively, JOK leading the team in tackles. Myles Garrett in TFLs and Myles Garrett in sacks. He does drop off from that over 10 number, which is a little upsetting. And 3 picks for JOK, 3 for Denzel Ward, 2 for Emerson, 1 for Higgins, and 1 for Malachi Moore. And of course, we are not going to be in the MVP or the Coach of the Year running. Probably not the Offensive Player of the Year. Probably not the Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year, we're not. Well, JoJo Barner is at 9. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Winters is at 3. Best quarterback, we are not on the list. Best running back, Rachaad White at 8. Best wide receiver, we're not on the list. Best offensive lineman, we are not on the list. Best defensive lineman, maybe? No, we're not going to be on the list. Best linebacker, JOK at 8. Best defensive back, not on the list. Best kicker, Brandon Aubrey at 8. We finally make the list there. And it looks like, that looks like Bills colors. It was the Buffalo Bills, another defensive Super Bowl MVP. Let's take a look at our dev traits. As Barner is star, I wonder if he lost. He did not, but he will be our starting running back next year. DeJuan Jones lost his dev trait. We will be looking for a new right tackle, though. You better believe. Defensively, Winters has star. Did he lose his dev trait? Did anybody lose the dev trait? No lost dev trait. Yeah, nobody on defense up or down. It does seem as Mike Hall is hurt. Winters with the star dev. Let's get to the offseason and let's get into year 5. All right, well, we're here in the free agency with $49.8 million, and there is nobody particular that I think we could really sign to, well, the only person that I could see working out would be Rasheed Walker. We'll offer him a 3-year deal. He is an improvement at the left tackle spot. Let's see if we get him. And we do bring in Rasheed Walker, so a little bit more help at tackle. Now let's get to the draft. All right, we're in the draft. We have pick 4, and we know what we need, so let's get to it. All right, Joseph Bond. He's a right tackle. We need a right tackle. 1-2 talent. Welcome to the team. Ranked at 35. Got him at 4, and he's a normal dev. I'm so over this. And we did end up with some 70 pluses, even in Will Albury. At the receiver. Oh, he is fast. Is he hidden dev? He's not. Bummer. But we get a right tackle, Joseph Bond, a 74 overall. He's probably going to start. Sidney Atkins, the computer drafted. He's normal dev too. It was a disaster of a draft for us, so let's just move on. All right, and now we're going out. We're getting a true number 1 in Puka Nacua. Giving up Emerson Jr., the backup left tackle, Belton, a first, a second, and a fourth. I know it's a lot, but we're swinging for the fences. We're going after a receiver. Now, at the beginning of week 1, this is what the team is looking like, as I want Bond to be starting there. Of course, we just added Puka Nacua. You got Luther Burton at the wide receiver 2 spot, and Jerry Jeudy, where he is at wide receiver 3. Barner, the second-year running back. Brewer, the third-year quarterback now. Again, a rookie right tackle. We brought in Rasheed Walker. You got Altman developing. Ryan Kelly and Wyatt Teller probably on their way out. Kevin West developing. Defensively, the team looks like it's in a good spot. Of course, we did lose Martin Emerson Jr., but with Meadows at the corner 4 spot and being a 78 overall and a scheme fit, I figured let's make a change and move somebody. So I think we're in a good spot. Well, we have no money to re-sign anybody at only $2.5 million. We might have to restructure some contracts, but it's not a big deal being it is the last year. The real issue is we're 2-5. We're not winning games. I'm curious as to why. We're losing these games by 3 points. Literally. We're so close to winning. We got to start winning soon because those teams aren't that good. Let's see what our stats are. I mean, this team should be doing good. Timmy Brewer, 1,500 yards, 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I mean, Riley Leonard even came in through 2 touchdowns. JoJo Brewer, 205 yards and a touchdown. Katrin Allen, 118 and a touchdown on half the carries. Luther Burden leading the way receiving. Puka Nacua, 414 and 5. Kevin West at 409 and 3. Jerry Jeudy with 6 touchdowns. Are we giving up a lot of sacks? It doesn't look. For some reason, Quandre Stevens is in. JOK leading the team in tackles. Mike Hall in TFLs. And Mike Hall in sacks. Him and Myles Garrett tied for 3. Only 3 interceptions so far. We're not getting after the quarterback. Myles Garrett, I don't care what the playbook is. Myles Garrett should get after the quarterback. And of course, you know, when you trade away your left tackle, your backup left tackle, your starting left tackle gets hurt. DeJuan Jones is going to have to be in there. He does give up a lot of sacks, though. And so is Barner. Why is this team so injury prone? All right, let's see if we can make the playoffs. We are an 87 overall, and the Dolphins are 79, and the Dolphins are winning games. Well, if that wasn't a drastic turn of events to go 4-13 with an 87 overall team, I'm going to give you all a look at the team. This team should not go 4-13. I mean, I thought we were good enough. We added Puka Nacua, Luther Burden, the defense, Myles Garrett still, JOK, Greg Newsome, Denzel Ward. This team should definitely win more than 4 games. I haven't tried changing the playbooks. Timmy Brewer, 3,600 yards, 30 touchdowns, only 13 interceptions. JoJo Barner, not really getting it done on the ground. Kevin West, 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. Burden with 903 and 6. Puka with 858 and 10 touchdowns. Jerry Jeudy with 8 touchdowns. Do we give up a lot of sacks? It looks like Quandre Stevens had to play because of an injury, and Joseph Bond, the rookie, did give up quite a few. Defensively, JOK leading the team in tackles. Mike Hall with 18 TFLs, tied with Myles Garrett. Mike Hall also leading in sacks with 8. Myles Garrett only with 7. 2 picks for Meadows, 2 for Delpit, 2 for Newsome, 1 for JOK, 1 for Ward, 1 for Porter, and 1 for Malachi Moore. I'm going to throw one more speed year in here. We're going to get to the... I'm probably going to... Unless we make a big splash in the free agency, I'm just going to get to the next year. And the Baltimore Ravens blow the Green Bay Packers out of the water there. And looking at our dev traits, we did lose our center. Kevin West going up to superstar. Puka Nacua goes down to superstar. Barner not doing too great, regressing. Brewer stays the same. Defensively, Delpit does lose his, but Meadows goes up to a star dev. So the pieces are still kind of the same. All right, we would have had the second pick in the draft, and we traded it away for Puka. We have the second round pick, though, so we're going to get to that. All right, we're going after Jonathan Parham. He's the best-looking safety, I think. Welcome to the team. And a hidden dev, a new starting free safety. Oh, we need a center, too. All right, here in the third round, we really need to get a center. It's got to be a center. Let's see if there's... Jason Porter looks decent. Could he... You know what? We're just going to stick to the centers. Stick to the centers. Let's not make it too complicated. Alan Meltzer. Gary Heenan. How do you look? All right, this is the pick. Gary Heenan. He's the best looking center as of right now. Give us another offensive lineman and a hidden dev. Thank you. And here's the draft recap. Jonathan Parham, a really good safety. Gary Heenan, a serviceable center for us anyway. The rest of the draft doesn't really matter. All right, this is the team before we get into the last year. Of course, Timmy Brewer still. Barner hopefully develops and plays a lot better this year. Puka Nacua. Gary Heenan, the rookie center, up to a 76. Rasheed Walker, Altman, Zinter, and Bond. Of course, with Kevin West at tight end. Puka Nacua and Luther Burden. Defensively, the defense still looks strong. I don't know why they don't play good and why we can't stop people, but hopefully this year's a little bit different. Let's get into the last year. And Timmy Brewer having a decent year, not putting up a lot of stats, but a good rating, not a lot of interceptions. Barner not doing great. Receiving Puka Nacua 333 and a touchdown. Jerry Jeudy kind of leading the way with 5 touchdowns. Yeah, probably giving up too many sacks from Rasheed Walker, one of our better offensive linemen. Tyron Porter leading the team in tackles. Mike Hall in tackles for loss. And Kalijah Cansey in sacks as Myles Garrett is down to 2.5. And only 1 interception for Jay Higgins. This defense has gotten progressively worse, and I'm not sure why. And we're also not winning games as we're only 2-4. So let's just go ahead and go to the playoffs and see what happens. Cross your fingers we finally make it. I don't know what to do. This team's cursed. This franchise is cursed. We go 8-9. We don't make the playoffs at all in 5 years. The step backs that we took were just terrible. I don't understand. I tried changing playbooks. That didn't work. Timmy Brewer, 3,700 yards, 35 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. JoJo Barner, 8-11 and 7. Maybe we needed to get a better running back. Kevin West leading the team in receiving with 890 and 8 touchdowns. Burden with 860 and 8. Puka with 855 and 7. Jerry Jeudy with 11 touchdowns. Rasheed Walker, our best offensive lineman, giving up the most sacks. That makes sense. Tyron Porter, however you want to say it, leading the team in tackles. Mike Hall Jr. in TFLs. Myles Garrett breaking that double-digit sack number again. 3 picks for Meadows, 2 for Higgins, 2 for Delpit, 2 for Newsome, 1 for Ward, and 1 for Sidney Atkins. And the Buffalo Bills end up winning the Super Bowl. We had no award winners. I didn't expect us to. Our team has not been great. Let's take one last look at this roster before we tidy things up. Brewer playing up to a 93. Barner's not great. Our receivers look good. Kevin West getting the dev trade to superstar X Factor. Gary Heenan is a star dev center. The rest of the offensive line, I mean, it's not great, but it looks good. Defensively, Myles Garrett finally regresses, and so does JOK. Parham lost his dev trait. I wonder what it was. Oh, he was superstar dev. He lost his dev trait. Probably got benched for no reason. That's just what this game does. Higgins went up to superstar dev at one point in the year. He lost it. Denzel Ward's finally regressing. The team's starting to regress a lot, not developing and not winning games. I don't know what we could have done differently. One point, as I was slow simming throughout the year, we were an 89 overall and losing games. I can actually show you what point it was. So, like, we're losing a lot of these games, like to the Steelers by 5 points. The Ravens continuously blew us out the whole rebuild. The Steelers again by 3 points. The Ravens, guess what? Blew us out again. We got the Bengals pretty good. We got the Jets. I was starting to feel good. We were winning games. Lost to the Titans that were an 84 overall, while we were an 87 at that point. Then we put 52 on the Bengals. Then on the Chargers, lost to the Vikings. The Vikings were a good team. Beat the Lions, beat the Packers, beat the 49ers. We're an 89 overall at this point, and then get blown out by the Colts, lose by 4 to the Jags, and then lose by a touchdown to the Texans. We just could not get it together. We were hot, cold, hot, cold. I tried different playbooks. We didn't put up numbers, and that's all that matters. So that's going to end this one, guys. If you enjoyed the video, which, again, with no playoff success and no Super Bowl trophies, or not even making the playoffs, if you did happen to enjoy it, leave a like. Look, next time I do a rebuild, I'm putting on the strong draft classes. We're building the team the way all the other YouTubers do. So leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and maybe even that bell to get the notifications for when I do post rebuilds. Let me know in the comments if there is a team you want to see rebuilt. Like I said earlier, I'm gotten some requests for some college teams. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do the college rebuild. So it's a completely different setup. So I'm trying to figure that out, and I will get to those. Until next time, guys, have a good one.